visiting the United States from the United Kingdom can feel surprisingly different. While both countries share a language and many cultural ties, British visitors are often caught off guard by everyday habits, social norms, and experiences that make America feel very different from home. Firstly, the distance between places feels huge. Nothing quite prepares a visitor for how enormous USA actually is. A trip that Americans will describe as not far can mean 4 or 5 hours behind the wheel. The drive from Dallas to Houston, both inside the same state, takes longer than traveling from London to Paris, a journey that crosses an international border and a stretch of open sea. For many visitors, the true size of the United States is hard to understand until they experience it themselves. A drive that takes several hours may still keep you in the same state. That's when you realize just how large the country really is. Once you've experienced the distances, another surprise usually comes the moment you walk indoors. During the summer, temperatures across many parts of the United States can be extremely hot. But the second you step inside a shopping mall, restaurant, cinema, hotel, or supermarket, it can feel like you've entered a completely different season. Americans take air conditioning very seriously. In places like Arizona, Texas, or Florida, it isn't a luxury, it's simply part of everyday life. Visitors quickly learn to carry a light jacket, even in the middle of summer. It sounds strange before you travel, but after your first few days it makes perfect sense. Plenty of travelers end up wearing a hoodie inside while it's over 30 degrees outside. It's one of those little travel tips that nobody mentions until you've experienced it yourself. Then there are the supermarkets. Walking into a large American grocery store for the first time can be overwhelming. The cereal aisle alone can seem endless. There are shelves filled with dozens of different soft drinks, hundreds of snacks, and more choices than many visitors have ever seen in one place. Stores like Walmart and Costco take things even further. Under one roof you can buy groceries, electronics, furniture, clothes, medicines, tires, and almost anything else you can think of. Whatever you choose to call them, a supermarket, a department store, or a warehouse club, the scale is what leaves the biggest impression. Many visitors find themselves taking photos, not because they're shopping, but because they simply can't believe how large everything is. The same feeling continues when it's time to watch sport. Attending an American sporting event is very different from simply watching a game. Whether it's the NFL, NBA, MLB, or college football, the event feels like a full-day celebration. Hours before kickoff, car parks are already full of people having barbecues with friends and family. Music is playing. Fans are wearing team colors everywhere you look. Inside the stadium there are giant screens, dramatic player introductions, fireworks, marching bands, halftime entertainment, and thousands of passionate supporters. The sport is important, but so is the entire experience around it. For many visitors, it feels less like attending a match and more like attending a major festival. Then comes something almost everyone has heard about before traveling, but still isn't prepared for. The food portions. American portion sizes have become famous around the world, but seeing them in person is something else entirely. A medium-sized drink can feel enormous. Restaurant meals often arrive covering the entire plate. Snack bags seem designed for families rather than individuals. At first it can feel excessive, but after a few days, many visitors realize there's another way to look at it. Large portions are often designed to become 2 meals instead of 1. Taking leftovers home is completely normal, and many restaurants are happy to provide a takeaway box without anyone needing to ask twice. Free drink refills follow the same idea. The focus is on giving customers plenty of value. Once you understand that, the dining experience starts to make a lot more sense. Another thing visitors notice almost immediately is how visible the American flag is. You see it outside homes, schools, restaurants, businesses, petrol stations, sports stadiums, and government buildings. For many visitors, it's surprising simply because it's so common. The flag isn't only displayed on national holidays. It's part of everyday life. For many American families, flying the flag is personal. It may honor relatives who served in the military, family traditions, or simply represent pride in their country. Whether or not you're used to seeing national flags displayed so often, it's difficult not to notice how naturally it fits into everyday American life. As visitors continue traveling, another realization begins to appear. America doesn't feel like one single culture. It feels like many different cultures sharing one country. New York feels completely different from Nashville. Miami feels different from Seattle. Texas feels different from California. The food changes. The accents change. The weather changes. The pace of life changes. Even the personalities of each region feel different. After visiting several states, many travelers stop thinking of America as one place. Instead, it starts to feel like dozens of different regions connected by one flag, one currency, and one federal government. That variety is one of the country's greatest strengths. And then, there is one thing that many visitors remember more than anything else. The people. One of the biggest surprises for many first-time visitors is how friendly Americans can be. A cashier might ask how your day is going. Someone standing in line beside you might start a conversation. Someone in a lift comments on the weather. Another person recommends a local restaurant simply because they overheard you're visiting. These conversations happen naturally. They aren't forced. They're simply part of everyday life. At first, some visitors aren't quite sure how to react. It can feel unexpected. But after a few days, something interesting happens. You begin looking forward to those little conversations. A short chat with a stranger can brighten your day. People smile more often. They hold doors open. They offer directions before you even ask. If they hear your accent, many become genuinely curious about where you're from and are happy to recommend places to visit. It's not about making lifelong friends. It's simply a culture where being open and welcoming is often the default. Of course, every country has friendly people and reserved people. America is no different. But many visitors leave with the same lasting impression. Beyond the famous cities, the giant highways, the huge supermarkets, and the massive portions, what they remember most is how welcoming people were. Long after the trip is over, it isn't always the landmarks that stay in your memory. It's the stranger who started a conversation in a coffee shop, the waiter who made you laugh, the cashier who wished you a great day and genuinely meant it. Those small moments often become the memories that last the longest. And perhaps that's the biggest surprise of all. America may impress visitors with its size, its energy, and its scale. But it often wins people over because of its people. Their openness, kindness, and willingness to make complete strangers feel welcome are qualities that many visitors remember long after they've returned home.